Hello, good morning. My name is Kamau, and this is Cheche, the show where opinion counts, live on Citizen TV. Today's guest is one of the best performing cabinet secretaries of the Kenyatta administration, so says the press. The fire at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport thrust him into the spotlight, and to stop the carnage on Kenyan roads, he wants all drivers retested. Engineer Michael Kamau is also in charge of upgrading our roads and expanding our infrastructure. Also with me in the Cheche studio is Mutegin Jao of Royal Media Services. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning.
You have a huge docket, transport and infrastructure, but we'll start with roads, chiefly road safety. Because as we get into the holiday season, we know, unfortunately, that more Kenyans will die on the roads. Why do we have such deathly roads in Kenya?
Because we are very careless, extremely careless, and we have a don't care attitude. And I equate it to, I don't know, when you watch these DSTV movies, you fight lions, they kill a buffalo, a herd of 400 buffaloes. They just get disturbed for a short while, and then they continue eating the grass. And we have that kind of behavior. You fight an accident, somebody has died, you drive slowly for 5 minutes, and then you are back to your normal behavior.
So you're talking about the short memory that Kenyans are accused of. But one of the things you want to do is to have all drivers retested. How feasible is that?
It's very feasible because we cannot approach this road safety issue from just talking. It's not about behavior change. There is also a lot of corruption that has infiltrated the driving testing system. People get licenses. I think there was media coverage the other day that showed that people had not even gone for driving tests. Motor vehicles are not inspected, and therefore we have people on our roads who have never driven a vehicle, who just got a license, have never been tested. So we got to go back to basics. Well, I got my driving license in the 80s, early 80s. I've never gone, nobody has gone to certify whether my eyesight is good. So it's got to be from basics. We start from the beginning with driver testing.
But sir, you were PS in the same ministry. Why didn't you do anything then?
Well, let's put it this way. I'll use a statement, and I wasn't a PS in the transport sector. President Kibaki said something very good in his lecture. The beginning is now. Look forward. Let's move forward from where we are. We have a problem, let's tackle the problem.
Well, no, let's go back, because unfortunately, according to the WHO, Kenya has one of the worst safety records, not just in Africa, but globally. And you've been within the system for 5 years, and now you're the cabinet secretary. You have, in a sense, contributed to the failure that we see manifested in the 3,000 and so lives that are lost every year in Kenya.
Let me put it this way. I've said that it is corrective madness. That's what I call it. Collective madness. It's not about government, it's about people, it's about attitudes. But government has a mandate to make sure that we stop this. And as I said, and I'm not trying to blame somebody else, I was in charge of roads, but not the transport element. But that said...
Where were you? What were you
roads,
in charge of?
Roads, we build the roads, and then transport manages the functions of the roads. But that's not an excuse, because we are in government, there is a collective responsibility. I think what we lacked is sufficient political will. Honorable Michuki, the late Michuki, tried to do it, but he did it alone. He did not have the critical mass of people. People supported, and then things started falling apart.
Well, he was moved away from the ministry, and to that extent, you still hear people asking for Michuki to come back. Unfortunately, he's passed away now. But there is a call for the sort of strength that saw him push through all these sanctions that saw us belting up, saw the numbers of people in public service vehicles reduced, and saw them, painting their vehicles one color.
What we are basically doing is starting from what is the fundamental problem. Where did things start going wrong? and not try to do things that
and so that's the attitudinal.
Attitude. I said issues of corruption, cartels that are running the matatu industry, who do not want to be controlled, involvement of people in authority in the matatu industry. You saw the matatus the other day that are never stopped, you know, owned by people in authority. They have a free run on the roads. Nobody bothers with them because, so those are the fundamentals that we must get into. And that is why the government, after 4,000 people died in 2009 from the National Transport and Safety Authority to be purely in charge of road safety. And that is now why you are seeing a lot of awareness. What makes me very happy is that when there is an accident, one person dies, now it becomes a national issue and there is a debate. So we have created the awareness. Now as government, we cannot have a referendum on this to ask people, oh, do you want this, do you want this? This is where we should step in government and take action, and that is what we are doing. But we've decided that mere talk without changing the basics will not help. So new driver licenses.
Biometric, you're saying?
Biometric, that once you swap, we can know whether it's yours. Today, you can just stamp, get a photograph and stick it on a photo. It doesn't tell me whether you are charged for overspeeding a few minutes ago. So you can continue. Nothing indicates on that driver license.
And the other thing you're saying is that you want to share this information with the insurance
share it with insurance
companies. And
we are doing it on a framework that is going to be on the same framework with your ID card when the new generation ID cards come, your PIN number. So we are not even procuring it in the Ministry of Roads. We are doing it through the ICT board so that later we can come and anchor it into a national framework.
Mutegi, I cut you off.
Yes, these things, when I read the proposals in the newspapers a few weeks ago, I thought you've gone beyond Michuki. I mean, if those things can be implemented, Michuki will look like a joke. Michuki changes. But what assurance is there that those are just proposals? What assurance that, apart from that biometric identity,
yeah.
How do you change attitude?
You know, it's got to change. And the moment I told parliamentarians that 3,000 people dying every year is like going in there and killing the parliamentarians 10 times over in 1 year. It's like having 10 by-elections. The moment people start seeing things as statistics, the moment you start seeing that 3,000 people is probably the whole of Buruburu, which is about 3,000 houses, phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, killing a person in each household, in every building, then people will start seeing the impact. Not to mention the number of people who die, I mean who are maimed, who are about 10 times more. We deal with the people who have died. It is a way of demonstrating that figure. But the people in spinal injury, the people who can no longer fend for themselves, people who can no longer write because they have broken limbs, people who can no longer walk, it is such a cost on this economy, and it is something that we can reduce. In Sweden, we have a death rate of about 3 people per 100,000. In Kenya, we are somewhere around 28. So we need to bring down that figure.
Are you aware that what we are saying is very good, but matatu people or bus driver, public transport people, you are talking Greek to them?
No, it's not Greek. In fact, what is surprising is their willingness, and this is why we've started the talk with them, the discussion with them. They are willing, and some of them have already complied. You recall that we said we have the SACCOs, where the SACCO is responsible for all the licensing, testing the drivers. It doesn't matter. Today, even if you come with a degree to Citizen Radio, they don't tell you, oh, you have a degree from University of Nairobi, you have first-class degree, come and start working. They will tell you, you come here, there is an interview panel, you are taken through an interview panel, they look at you, they test your voice, they see your behavior, and then they say, you can come and work.
When will they start?
Now, the regulations, I think, should come out this month. They have been with the Attorney General, he has been reviewing them. Once they come out, then we can start enforcing them. So
just clarify something, because I thought they were starting next June. So
no, that is the new driving license.
Right.
But before that, we've started on the soft infrastructure,
right,
working with the people in the industry. the matatu people, they form into SACCOs, because now once we give TLBs to Odwak, to Mutegi, to Kamau, to the other person, it's very difficult. We are saying, let's have a cluster of about 40 vehicles. So if one of your vehicles has an accident, it is corrective responsibility. We withdraw those licenses, we deal with we now review that SACCO. Some of them have 200 vehicles. So people will be very, very careful.
I remember when that accident took place in Umoja, and you withdrew the licenses for the company.
Yes.
There was an outcry. People
Yes.
said, no, it's only one bus. Why withdraw? People are going to lose jobs. Or people are, in fact, the complaint was transport in that area, in Umoja, was completely paralyzed because of that.
That is what we want, so that people know that there is punishment. You don't test your drivers. They are the ones who are overlapping in town. We withdraw your license. Those are some of the
For the entire fleet?
Yes, for the entire fleet. So that you become, you know, in your house, Mutegi, you can build a bulletproof house with bulletproof windows. You can put bunkers. You can even buy guns. But the moment you are on the road, you are walking on the street. If I'm driving, I'm your keeper. So there is no business of saying that because I'm okay. No. Your life depends on me when we are on the road. So we want to have corrective responsibility. That is why we are saying we want SACCOs. And then it is going to be easy for the ministry to deal with SACCOs, because then we can have like 100 SACCOs rather than having 300,000 TLBs issued to people. So that is why we are clustering them. Now, the SACCOs can even have, you know, alcohol brew. Right now.
For
themselves. Because now this is the employer. And the employer, you know, people went to court to stop government from doing that. Yeah. But nobody will stop a SACCO now. If you are employed, like if you come here in the morning, citizen can decide to have a policy that nobody will come and work, appear before a camera if his alcohol